Welcome back to the podcast, guys, with Rob and Nando. We're going to get into another reaction video. Before we do so, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification button, and let's get into it. Which video are we going to react to today?
All right, so just a quick little background as to what we're about to watch. So we're about to react to a recent viral clip. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen it. It's basically a clip of Vitali pulling one of his infamous pranks. This time it is at a neon signing event. He's there with his current girlfriend, Sam Frank. So I don't want to spoil it. Let's watch the video.
Let's get into it.
Can I get an autograph?
You know who this is? What the fuck's wrong with you?
What's up?
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Nothing. I wanted to get an autograph.
Do you have a problem?
No, 2 + 2 is 4.
Grown ass man doing this.
Oh yeah, so what? You're a fucking Indian twin. You're an Indian twin, bro. You're a fucking Indian twin dick. Come on, let me suck your fucking dick, bro. Yeah, what's up? What's up, my boy? I'm not gonna touch your boy.
I'm 19 years old. You're a fucking.
I wanted your autograph. I'm a fan, bro. I want to get an autograph, bro. What the fuck did I do?
Do the world a favor and go fuck yourself.
Why are you so hurt, bro? It's okay.
You're a loser.
I'm a loser?
No one gives a fuck about you.
Damn, you're hurt. You're hurt, bro. You're hurt. Oh. We kissed now. Oh, that was amazing.
I'm sorry, King Vitali.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry, sir.
Thank you.
That ending is great. So what you basically saw at the very end right there, I don't know if you guys saw the full clip, but basically after this happened, Vitali left the building. He went live on Kick. I think that's like his main platform now. And he basically called the police. The cops showed up, and he basically said to the police that I was attacked by a woman. She spat on me. The cops said to him, like, do you have a video of this actually happening? Which I was surprised to hear, because it's usually the opposite happening. It's usually a woman accusing a man of doing something. But in this case, he called the cops. He showed them the video, and they pulled her to the side and started questioning her. So what you saw at the very end there is Vitali made her apologize, and he didn't accept the first apology. He's like, I want you to say, I'm sorry, King Vitali. So
Before we get through the whole breakdown, let's talk about who these people are, because I'm sure some of you guys don't know who they are. So Vitali is the guy that came in with the pictures, the OnlyFans pictures, and he's been on YouTube since 2011. He has a channel, Vitali's TV, and he has about 10 million subs right now. He's a pranking channel, so it's pretty much likely what he was doing was trying to pull a prank. Not too pleasant to them. Obviously, pranks are usually that not pleasant at all. He's had many ups and downs, many run-ins with the police. He's been arrested a handful of times throughout the years. He's going through a lot of debt right now, and he's attempting a comeback, which is what it looks like. As far as Neon is concerned, so Neon is the guy that was arguing with Vitali when Vitali came in to have those signatures for those pictures, and he's gained fame as a streamer. Vitali's 31 years old. Neon's 19 years old, so they have a 12-year age difference. Neon is a YouTuber and Kick streamer, revolving around Fortnite and NBA 2K. Has been through some ups and downs as well. He faked his death. He faked COVID. So he's done some stupid stuff as well. And then Sam Frank, the girl that came in and spit on Vitali, that's Neon's girlfriend. She's also a streamer, and she started her career on TikTok. She's also on Kick, and she has her OnlyFans, which this whole story revolves around. So start breaking it down. What was the first thing that started happening?
yeah, so Vitali's known for exactly these type of pranks. Like, this guy has like no chill, like balls to the wall. Like, there's no telling what he'll do next. So I saw the beginning of the clip how he basically was around a crowd of people, and he like showed them the pictures, and like obviously this whole thing was pre-planned. So what he did, like, I'm not really a fan of this style of pranks, because like it's very disrespectful to show up at somebody's signing and show naked pictures of the whole thing was hilarious though. Like I have to give it to him. Like at the end of the day, the purpose of this video was to be a prank, to get views, to go viral, and he definitely achieved that. So first thing I wanted to say about the clip, right? So Vitaly's in his 30s. Neon, to my understanding, is 19 years old. So my initial reaction is, I think for the first few seconds, Neon handled it pretty well. He kind of stood his ground. He started cursing out Vitali. And for a skinny, scrawny, like 19-year-old kid, I thought he handled it very, very well in that first few seconds. But then the security guard came in and Neon said, "Suck my D." And then Vitali got on his knees and pretended to do it. And that's where things went haywire. And then Sam Frank spat in his face. Okay. And that's like the key turning point of this video, because that's what led to Vitali calling the cops and like escalating it even further. So he said, "Okay, you're going to spit in my face. Watch what I'm going to do."
Yeah. And then at the end, she ended up saying, "I'm sorry, King Vitali. And overall, obviously, entertainment, the way it went down was crazy. And there's funny parts, but there's also some serious parts as well. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of a whole bunch of things going on. First things first, Vitali coming in with the pictures. What do you think of that? Is that something that he shouldn't have instigated? I mean, obviously, you could tell it was for a prank, but is that a good prank?
To me, it's a little bit over the top. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's why I mentioned before is like I'm all for pranks and good fun and like getting viral, views. I get it. Like nowadays you have to do crazy stuff, especially in his genre of YouTube where you're doing pranks. So you have to constantly beat yourself, and top your last performance. This guy climbed like the pyramids of Giza. He streaked during the World Cup, for soccer. So he's done a lot of crazy stuff. So I'm personally not a fan of doing this type of stuff because it's like from one side of it, like this guy did nothing to hurt him or to like aggravate him. So to show up and like show nude photos of his girlfriend is like definitely disrespectful, and it's kind of over the top in my opinion. So I think his mission was accomplished. Like he got his views and stuff, but I hope that this isn't like the style of videos he plans on making to stay relevant, because at the end of the day, like you said, this is him. He said this in an interview, like,
it seems to be a comeback that he's trying to achieve.
He's trying to make a comeback, and he's had I don't know if for anybody that's watching, if you know his history, at one point he completely fell off and went bankrupt because he had a situation where he took 60 grams of mushrooms. He explains this whole thing in an interview. He took 60 grams of mushrooms, tried to hug some random girl that was jogging. She pushed him away, and he punched her in the face. And then he went to jail for it. He went bankrupt. Supposedly, he's so broke that he's like negative like $200,000-300,000 in debt. So it created a total financial disaster for him. And now people saw him as this like bad guy. Like they didn't think it was funny anymore. So, anyways, this is him making his comeback to YouTube. All I really want to say is I hope he's not going to do it in this taste, because I'm not a fan of it.
Me neither. I mean, obviously, you never hit a woman, so that pretty much right there says it all about Vitali.
Yeah, exactly.
In that case. So what do you think about Neon going back and forth with him? Is it justified? I mean, it seems to me like it's justified. It makes sense. He's coming in with his girlfriend's OnlyFans pictures to be disrespectful. And
I have to say, I think he handled it pretty well, because Vitali's is a really heavy, strong guy. Like he used to be on steroids. Like he made a YouTube series on it where he was like juicing for like a while, and he was a really jacked guy. He still looks heavy. I don't know what he weighs exactly, but I would guess like probably at least 200 pounds. So he's a big guy. So for a scrawny like 19-year-old kid who's like a streamer, I think he held his ground pretty well. He didn't run away. He didn't cry to the corner or like avoid the whole interaction. He stood right in his face and started cursing him out. So I think he handled it pretty well. Where Vitali kind of took over the whole thing is by calling the cops and, asking the girl to apologize. But in a way, he made Sam Frank look bad. He didn't necessarily make Neon look bad, in my opinion.
Do you think the security guard helped him? Because, he had protection. So I mean, they went back and forth for a moment there until the security guard interfered.
Yeah, and that's why, the first few seconds he handled it pretty well, but then the security guard kind of stepped in, and you could tell that Vitali was just like messing with him. Like, I don't think Vitali would have physically done anything. Oh, and something worth mentioning, Vitali, according to what he's saying, he's completely clean now. So he had a long past with drugs and alcohol, and he's supposedly completely clean. So what we're going to see from him now, which should be interesting to watch, is he's going to be doing his prank videos completely sober. And I watched an interview with him. He said he's a lot happier now. He's a lot more like, clear-headed. So we'll see what happens.
As far as Sam jumping in, she jumped in pretty much at the same time Neon started going back and forth with Vitali. Her spitting on his face. I mean, I know the answer to it. What can you say about that? Is it something that she should have done in that case?
Prime example of like how a man should handle something and what happens when a woman tries to handle something. I think that Neon, even though he obviously was angry, which he has a right to be, he handled it pretty well. He didn't physically fight. He didn't spit. He didn't really physically attack Vitali. This girl came in and just spat in his face. Is it justifiable? I get it. He disrespected both of them with the pictures, but she's really, if you want to say what escalated this whole thing to a point where it should have never gone to. What should have happened is him and Neon should have exchanged some words. Security would have escorted Vitali out, and that would have been the end of it. But the girl got in, got emotional, spat in his face, and boom. Now you have a whole nother. And she really created a bigger problem for the both of them. So
now we talk a lot about on our podcast how you shouldn't simp and let women take the masculine role and you take the feminine role. I would say Neon started it fine. I mean, he's right to start defending himself and his girlfriend in that way at the beginning. But do you think he eventually started simping? And what do I mean by that? Sam came in and spit on him. He should have controlled her and calmed her down, because keep in mind, it's not just what happens to you, it's how you react to it. So his reaction justified. However, him letting her come in and spit on him, which is pretty much what caused the rest of the, what happened later on to happen. So do you think that, he simped in that case by letting his woman take the masculine role?
I think that he should have never. Everything happened very quickly, but the moment this started, he should have gotten her out of the picture. He should have whispered to the security, like, get her out of here. And if he really wanted to handle it, he should have handled it face to face with Vitali, because once the girl got, there was no point, there was no reason. She was not a help at all by stepping in and spitting in his face. And I heard some rumors that all of this was staged. I don't believe that. I mean, my initial reaction, I watched this video a few times just to like see, I don't want to miss anything. I don't get the vibe from this that this was staged. However, after all this went down, there's another follow-up video where Vitali and Neon were supposed to box, and then they met up at a ring. Vitali showed up with like a crown on with like the boxing shorts. Yeah, and all of a sudden another like jacked guy comes in. I don't know if it's a security guard or who it was in this particular case. And he got in Vitali's face, and all of a sudden, like, this is like the second time. First it was a security guard that stepped up for him, and then it was this like big jacked guy that stepped in, and Vitali ended up walking away from the fight because the original plan was for them to fight one-on-one. So speaking of Neon and Sam Frank, what kind of relationship do you think they have? Do you think it's a genuine relationship? Like, do you really think that she's attracted to this guy, or do you think she's with him for other reasons?
Well, I think it seems pretty obvious that it's for other reasons. I mean, Neon, not to bash anybody, but Neon in this case is not one of the most attractive guys out there. Of course, he is one of the most with clout out there, right? He's a famous streamer, a famous YouTuber. A lot of people know him now over the last few years based on what he's done. So from that's where, she's also a YouTuber. She's also on Kick, streaming, and, they are involved in that together. So I think that's what brought them together. But as far as it being the ideal relationship, not at all. I feel like there's personal interest. Obviously, Neon for Sam and Sam for Neon.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is a prime example of how she's only with him, let's be real, because of the clout. The guy, as of right now, he has 749,000 YouTube followers. He streams on multiple platforms. He's like kind of like in the spotlight right now. We don't know how long he'll be in the spotlight, but right now he's definitely in the spotlight. So, I think this is a prime example of, like, she wants to obviously drive her platform, her OnlyFans, get more clout and more attention on her. And what easier way to do it than to team up with a streamer. So I think this is clearly just a case of her trying to get clout from him. Do I believe she's really attracted to him? Would she date that guy if he wasn't who he was? I don't think so. And what's in it for him? A young girl, a young attractive girl that he probably would have never gotten otherwise. So it's one of those,
Right, exactly. So, and again, Sam YouTuber, kick streamer, OnlyFans. So that pushes all of that higher for everybody else to, in the spotlight for everybody else to see. And Neon helps in that case. His fame helps.
I'll tell you, since we're talking about like OnlyFans girls coming in and trying to get clout off of streamers, what happened immediately after this, and you could check this out for yourself. There's a video of another OnlyFans girl approaching Neon and trying to steal him away from Sam Frank. So now that this happened, another OnlyFans creator, I don't remember her name, she stepped in and is like, oh, well, I want to hop in on this too. And she's trying to like latch on to Neon now also, probably for clout, but we'll see what unfolds from that.
It makes you think that maybe, okay, it seems like the beginning it wasn't staged, but then as it continues on, it feels like the rest of it is, fabricated for them to get views and get clout and all this stuff. I feel like it would be the case for Vitali as well, because he was mentioning, the views and, while she was being interrogated by the cops. So, there's a lot of suspicion of what is and what they were planning or what they had in mind after the fact.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. I don't think the video we watched was staged at all. I think this was genuinely Vitali showing up and just doing a prank, because everybody's reactions seemed pretty like on the spot. But everything from then seems like they're just trying to milk it at this point. Like the boxing fight, there's a bunch of videos, and there's actually this just happened a few days ago. And there's already been like multiple interviews on it. So I think they're just milking the story at this point. And I think this is like an example of like how people kind of have to game social media to get views. Is like they have to create sometimes like drama and then milk that drama for a little bit until something else happens. So I think they're just playing the YouTube game and just milking the story for a little bit. But I hope that, Vitali's not going to just stick to this type of content, because I could see it getting kind of like corny quick, like if you're just gonna do stuff like this. Was a funny video, like I'll give it to him, like it got the views, but I would rather see him do like his like original stuff, like go out there and like climb a pyramid again, or like do crazy stuff like that. He originally became famous for doing a zombies prank in Miami, which was hilarious. That was like one of his earlier videos in 2012. So I like to see more stuff like that.
Now, Vitali's reaction when Sam spit in his face, do you think he reacted well to that?
Yeah.
In that moment, not the part after, which I'll bring up in a second, but in that moment, he pretty much wiped the spit and licked it, and gross. But at the end of the day, did he react in a manly fashion?
It's good you brought that up, because I think I've never seen somebody so quickly handle like a stressful situation, because like she spat in his face like nobody saw that coming. It was just him and Neon arguing, and all of a sudden spit goes flying across the room. So by him going, licking his fingers and saying, "Oh, we kiss now," I got to give him credit. Like that was like, I would never think of that quickly. So
guy's a freak. I'll tell you that. I would say, again, we're talking about masculine, feminine. Neon took the feminine role there, and Vitali was the masculine.
He controlled the whole thing. Yeah,
took the masculine role. I mean, he could tell that just the way he was going up. You could tell that by the way he was going about it. He had them both in the palm of his hands, and they were just, they're younger, so a little bit, much more immaturity. They're they're freaking out, and she spits on him, and Neon's cursing, and he's not controlling his girl. So obviously, he went in there. Vitali went in there. We're not saying that he wasn't disrespectful, because he was. He came in with her naked pictures, and his intention was to have her sign it. But then he went up to Neon and was trying to get him to get.
He originally wanted her signature. Yep.
So then she came up. I don't know how she noticed it, pretty quickly, but that's what also makes me think that it could have been staged partially, because she came up quickly and noticed it.
What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Like very quickly, yeah.
It was a quick reaction. It seems like that may have been a setup.
You didn't even see her in the frame when this happened. So like from first of all, the camera angle they had was like a wide camera angle, so you saw like the people like next to them, and all of a sudden he shows the clipboard, he shows the second picture, Neon starts reacting, and then this girl comes flying out of left field with, "Oh, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you?" So how did she see what was in those photos?
Unless she was nearby, or she has supervision. But to me, she was out of the picture and just came flying in
Yeah.
and started reacting.
Good point. Yeah.
And who knows? Who knows? It seems like everything worked out, after that. Now, when Vitali called the cops, was he in the right to call the cops?
So when I saw him on Kick and he said, "Oh, I'm calling the cops," and he was in the car, I think, at one point saying he's gonna do a lawsuit, and I was like, I can't even tell if this guy's being serious. Is this a part of the prank? Is he just kind of like bluffing? So when he called the cops and the cops actually arrived, I was like, damn, he's really going through with this. I think the prank originally was kind of uncalled for, but calling the cops on top of it was definitely uncalled for because she spat on him. Had she punched him in the face, hit him with a glass bottle, hurt him in any way, then I would have said call the police. But she just spat on him. I think what he did was just simply call the cops because he said to himself, "Oh, okay, you want to spit on me? I'm gonna I'm gonna retaliate and get you arrested or at least like a fine or something like that." So I think it was definitely uncalled for. I think he just said, "Okay, screw it. You spat on me. Watch what's gonna happen now."
Well, he did say that he was teaching her a lesson because if it was with somebody else, it could be something worse. It could turn into something super violent.
And you know what? Now that I think of it that way, I think it was an important lesson for her because, this time it was a prank, but she may have other scenarios, especially since she's an OnlyFans creator and she's, popular on YouTube. There's going to be another case or scenario she's going to have where somebody starts with her in the street, and you have to kind of like pick and choose your battle. Sometimes it's better to just walk away from it.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to just let things go. Of course, you could tell that throughout the whole thing. The really disrespectful thing that Vitali did was just bring in the naked photos. After that, it was pretty much... they ran off and, Sam and Neon just, went all haywire. So did he do her a favor? Did he teach her a lesson in that case by calling the cops and then standing there and having her apologize to him?
And I think what it did in the end, and you could just tell by her voice when she said, "I'm sorry, King Vitali," is I think what it did is it humbled her. Because she reacted to the pictures. First of all, why are you reacting when you're an OnlyFans model? And this is the type of stuff that always makes me like raise an eyebrow. Like, you're an OnlyFans creator. You literally have a page where you post nudes and like the whole world can access it and you charge money for it. Why did you get so upset that he showed your boyfriend who saw you nude anyway? It's not like he went around like showing it to everyone, one by one in the room. He showed it to Neon, and like why did she react that way? You're an OnlyFans creator. All of a sudden you're shy about showing your nudes. So I don't understand that part of it. But I think it definitely humbled her, and I think it was like a lesson learned for her. Like next time, maybe just don't say anything and don't escalate it.
That could also be a red flag for possibly it being staged because you could tell that it was such an overreaction to something that she normally does. I mean,
exactly.
She's on OnlyFans selling these photos for whatever she sells it for, videos for whatever she sells that for. So to overreact to something like that seems a little bit much because she's doing it anyway. So there's some signs, some
that it might be staged,
kind of red flags that you can tell that it might be staged for everybody. I mean, they could have all been in on it, so.
And I could see that happening because nowadays, these creators, a lot of them kind of are in the same give or take genre, and they have the same, even if they're not in the same genre, I think they have the same group watching them, the same age group, So it would make sense why they would say, hey, you know what? Why don't we just stage this like prank and like all of us being on it, and we'll all benefit from it because they had camera crews from Vitali's side, they had camera crews from Neon side, so they all at the end of it, if you really want to put it that way, they all benefited from this. So
I mean, typically when there's something going down, people are pulling out their phones and filming.
Oh, and a bunch of footage on phones too.
Yeah. So, but it's also, it seems kind of odd that it was all ready to go. Everything that happened just followed along, and then the fight today. Well, it was today or yesterday.
I don't know the exact day. I just saw the video today where they had a follow-up where they literally, if you want to go check out the video yourself, they literally met up at a boxing rink. Vitali showed up with the boxing shorts and like a crown. And
it was supposed to happen, but it never did.
It was supposed to happen, but from what I saw in the video, at one point, this other jacked guy who looked like he might have been possibly Neon's, either his friend or his bodyguard or somebody, he got directly into Neon's face and Vitali's face and was like, hit me. And at that point, Vitali was like, that's not why I came here for. And he just left. So, yeah. Oh, and I think they broke Vitali's crew's camera because all of a sudden they started all going at it. It's just not constant drama, basically.
Pretty much, pretty much. I mean, this is something that everyone can take away from and learn from. You know, make sure that, you know, for every action there's a reaction. But again, something that occurs towards you, you have the power of the reaction. So if you react properly, things won't escalate. Because again, if that's something, maybe it's real, maybe it's not. We don't know. We're not them. We don't know what they're planning or not planning. Or, you know, maybe Vitali just had that in mind and wanted to, you know, do that to make a comeback as he's been trying to do. But at the end of the day, things can get from good to bad to worse. So for anybody out there, make sure that you're treating each other properly. You know, you're being nice to each other. You know, it's a tough world nowadays with all that's going on. You know, just be kind to each other and treat each other well. So, and if something happens to you that you have an opportunity to react properly, you know, don't spit on somebody's face, because that's assault.
Yeah,
too.
that's where she shouldn't have done that. And honestly, come to think of it, if there was one way that Sam Frank and Neon could have won this whole scenario and avoided this whole drama, he should have taken that clipboard, looked at it with the zero reaction, signed it, and then walked away. Zero reaction from him or from her. And then what would have happened is Vitali would have had no content because he wouldn't have gotten his prank through. Cops would have never been called. She would have never spat on him. But I guess everything was so quick and in the moment that it just kind of happened that way. But that's the only way they could have won, is just not react. Sign it. Okay, here you go. And walk away. And maybe ask security to ask them to leave.
Yeah. So, again, we presented here a little bit of an entertainment factor that we don't always present in this case with drama on YouTube and other YouTube and content creators. However, to finalize this whole thing as it relates to our podcast, masculine, feminine. Who was the man here? Who was the woman in this case? Vitali, Neon, masculine, feminine role. Who took?
Vitali dominated the whole thing from beginning to end. He came in, he did his prank, he got what he wanted. He licked his fingers when the girl spat in his face. That was another win. He called the cops, and at the very end, he got her to apologize on camera. So what was masculine about it? He didn't back down. He handled the whole thing from beginning to end. He created the problem, but he also solved it. So
you think he gained Sam's respect a little bit?
I was gonna say, and I remember the first time I watched this video when he went up to her and kind of like held her accountable. What immediately jumped to my mind is like, I would not be surprised if she got turned on by Vitali after the way he handled it.
Possibly, and she could be asked that question, and if she didn't,
stop the cap.
I think if she says she didn't, I think she'd be lying. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we have for you today. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, because we are on the road to 1,000 here. We want to get 1,000 subscribers, take off, and give you more of what the podcast guys have to offer. So put us out there, like the video, share the video with whoever you think may want to be entertained today, and learn a lesson as well, because this is a lesson to be learned.
100%. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
We'll get you next time. Thank you.